This is Iris Lloyd, president of CUPE New Brunswick, and you are listening to CUPE Talks in the Maritimes with Nick and Chris.
Do you have any takeaways that you're going to be taking from the courses that you've learned so far?
Yes. So I've done a lot of the single day training courses through CUPE already. And one of the most valuable things is speaking and discussing events and experiences with the other participants.
And I would love to see more members get involved with anything, whether it's start out on a small committee. We want to see,
Can you tell us a little bit about what you've learned here this week?
It's a great learning experience, and as long as I've been around and involved, I'm still learning.
I am Nicholas London, co-host of CUPE Talk in the Maritimes.
I'm Chris Watson, president of the New Brunswick Federation of Labor and co-host of CUPE Talk in the Maritimes.
Hi, my name is Brian Watson, former president of CUPE New Brunswick and now the producer of CUPE Talk in the Maritimes and across Canada.
Wes Wills, Local 380 Vice President.
Hey, this is Justin Spooner, Region DVP and First Vice President of CUPE 1253.
I'm Shelby Dodge, President of Local 3226.
Karen Tier, President of the New Brunswick Council of Nursing Home Unions.
I'm Jamie Agnew, and I'm the President of CUPE Local 963, representing New Brunswick liquor store, retail, and warehouse workers.
I'm Sherry Hillier, President of CUPE Newfoundland and Labrador and General Vice President for the Atlantic Maritimes.
I'm Cheryl Ann Keown, and I'm the Healthcare Council President, PEI, and I also sit on Local 805.
Quay, hello. This is Kathy Johnson, President of CUPE 5446.
Hi, my name is Dorinda Smith. I'm from Local 813.
I'm Teresa McAllister, Provincial President of CUPE 2745 Educational Support Staff.
Bonjour, ici Alain Soucy, membre du SCFP, Syndicat canadien de la fonction publique.
Hey everyone, this is Candace Rennick, CUPE's National Secretary Treasurer, and you're listening to CUPE Talk in the Maritimes.
Hey, this is Mark Hancock, CUPE National President, and you're listening to CUPE Talk in the Maritimes.
It is a show all about CUPE's National Convention. But with that said, we have got a ton of things to cover. But first and foremost, Brother Chris Watson, welcome to our show.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Nick. Even though this is my house, here we go. CUPE Talking the Maritimes, CUPE National Convention 2025 in the books. Huge success.
That's the overall feeling. That's what I'm hearing. Huge success. We've got a ton of stuff to talk about tonight, but right out of the chute, I think it's super cool that we can welcome the third host of CUPE Talk in the Maritimes, Wes Wills. Wes, welcome.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Welcome.
How are you?
Brother?
Hey, brother.
How's it going?
We are doing well.
Thank you for coming on. Also, the producer of this very show and former president of CUPE New Brunswick, the one and only Brian Watson. Brian, thank you for coming on the show tonight, brother.
I'm here live. I like to produce the show from my shop, so that's what you see in the background, tools, everything else. So I have a huge big screen in my shop, so this is where I like to sit and produce the show.
I see nothing wrong with that at all, because as long as you're producing our show, we're super happy.
Right.
This is what CUPE Talk in the Maritimes looks like, kind of a behind-the-scenes type of look, because as you can see, we're coming to you live tonight.
Yeah, and we never come live, but I'm thinking in the very near future, this may just be this may be the new cool thing to do, being live. And of course, the I'd say the guest of honor. He's the newly re-elected president of CUPE National. Mark Hancock will join us here tonight, which is very exciting. Brian, you know Mark very well. How excited are you to have him on CUPE Talk?
I love Mark. Mark and I, we go back since the first time he was elected at CUPE National. I sat on the executive board with him, and Mark is, I just can't think of anybody else to do the job for CUPE National. He's one super guy. He's down to earth. I love him to death.
Yeah, that's one of the things like you were saying about, when he first got elected. That just happened to be my very first national convention, which was out in Vancouver. I forget the year, but, it was something very notable to be there, to watch Brother Hancock get elected at that time. And, again, congratulations to him, not only on behalf of all of us here, but on behalf of CUPE. And, we're going to save the number of members a little bit later on, but on behalf of CUPE as a whole, congratulations to him.
Yes, absolutely. Wes, you got to be a little bit around Mark back at CUPE Gives Back in I want to say that was August. What is your general feeling on Mark Hancock as our national president?
I think we have the perfect person to lead us, honestly. I don't know Brother Hancock that well, but he's a very passionate man, and we are lucky to have him as our leader, our president.
Yeah, I know you and I, Wes, we had the ability when we went out to the sector meetings out in Winnipeg to also be able to sit and to meet him and listen to the man speak too.
Yes,
that was an experience. It's not quite as large of a room as you would at a national convention, but nonetheless, you get to have a little taste of what it's like for when everybody comes together from across Canada to support these different events. So, like I said, national convention though is something totally different. You're getting thousands of people in one room. I remember going to CUPE New Brunswick for the first time and thinking, my God, 300 people in one room, this can't get any better. And then you go and you got 300 people in your section or 300 people waiting to get coffee. That takes a whole new meaning, when you're thinking that wow factor, right? When you get thousands of members in one room.
Well, I know I spoke, I know I've had this conversation with Wes, I know I've had it with Brian, and I know I've had this conversation with you, was, hey, 1253, man, there was a lot of people there. Oh, really? Why don't you try CUPE New Brunswick? So we hit CUPE New Brunswick, and I said, wow, there was a lot of people there. Yeah? Why don't you try hitting CUPE National Convention, then we'll talk. I get it. I saw the pictures.
My first trip to national convention, when I walked into that room, I had to stop and just pause and take it all in. I couldn't believe what I was walking into. And every time I went to a national convention, I had to do the same thing. I had to stop and just take in the room and look at it and be in total awe of what was about to happen.
Yeah. Doing what we do here with our webcast and doing what we do. You've seen me at conventions doing the tech thing. I know Nick's doing the tech thing, and we've always been around technology. So, like you're saying, when you walk into the room, it's one thing to see the amount of people and the setup and everything, but when you see all the different TVs and the screens and all that too, the technical side of things, it's really something from that perspective. Even it's just not overwhelming, but amazing.
Absolutely. So what I want to do right now is, before Brother Hancock calls, I do want to read a message from Robbie Howitt, the president of CUPE 830. So I do want to touch on this. He said to me this afternoon, he said, hey, Nicholas, just had a few minutes, very busy day. Thought I'd give a quick update. Still on strike, day 76, pathetic. I think mediation tomorrow, he doesn't expect a whole lot, but hopefully the city will work with them instead of against them. That would be ideal. Just want to get everyone's feelings here. I'll start with you, Chris. Seeing this going on and on, what do you think?
Yeah, it's, we come on here and we're talking about it, and we were angry and upset when we hit day 40. We were angry and upset when we hit 50, when we hit 60. I mean, now here we are. We're pushing into the 70s, and it's more than disgusting now. I mean, it's just getting worse and worse. And not only is it bad for the members over in Charlottetown for Local 830, but it's just getting worse and worse. I mean, on the municipality over there. I mean, that looks extremely bad. Like, I don't know if they realize, like I said, spending all this different money and fighting against these workers looks really bad on them. And I do know that some of the presidents are over, attending CUPE Local 830 with them tonight in the city of Charlottetown. They have council meetings this evening at the City Hall. I know Alan Linkletter's there from Nova Scotia, Iris Lloyd is there from New Brunswick, Ashley Clark again from PEI, and Sherry Hillier, our newly re-elected general vice president as well, are all over there right now attending that City Hall. So hopefully we'll have a little bit more to report. But again, we need everybody to contact the municipalities over there. We keep sending letters, and that's one thing, but they need to hear the voices. They need to hear the testimonials from people. So that voice-to-voice communication is huge. So again, check out CUPE Talk in the Maritimes on our platforms, and we're going to be putting up the information and those phone numbers and how to get in touch with those officials over there so that we can end this sort of stuff, because one day is too long, day 70 is disgusting.
Absolutely. I'm gonna let Brian take control here for a moment. Brian, why don't you give an introduction for the man that's about to appear on the show? I think that would be nice.
Well, I can't say enough good things about my brother that's about to come on the show. He's an awesome guy. Like I said, he's down to earth. He's not just a colleague in CUPE. He is a true friend, a true leader. And I was very proud to sit on the National Executive Board with him. He always was always respectful. And like I said, I truly love this man to death. And I would, if you allow me here right now, I would like to bring him in and let him take over for a bit.
Hey, how are you guys?
Hey.
Can you hear me okay?
Good. How are you, brother?
Fantastic. Thanks, Brian, for those very kind words. I've always appreciated you and what you brought to CUPE New Brunswick and CUPE National, and it's always a pleasure to see you. It's something I don't get to do very often, but now I'm hanging out with your kid a little bit more often now that he's on the CLC Canadian Council. So, like father, like son, eh, buddy?
Yes, indeed, Mark. It's
really and which is next week, so we'll be seeing each other next week.
Tis next week, absolutely. I'm looking forward to it.
I sure wish.
Congratulations, first off, Mark, on your re-election as CUPE National President. Huge victory for you, and huge victory for CUPE.
Yeah, no, it was a great week, and of course, it's always great to be re-elected. There was some competition this year, but I got 87% of the vote, which I'm very happy with, and that means I think majority of delegates are comfortable with me continuing to lead our great union for another 2 years, and we'll see from there. But it's always great to be re-elected, and we don't have a lot of job security in this business. Every 2 years we're up for re-election, but that's okay. It's what democracy's about. It's what CUPE's about.
I have got to bring this up because it's been the thing that I think I've spoke about the most this year or this week. I apologize. This is amazing. 800,000 members of CUPE. Yeah. I don't know what else to say. That says it all, Mark. How proud are you of that?
I'm very proud. I was proud when we reached 700,000, and we've got a lot of great staff that work not just in the organizing department, but servicing our locals, and of course, a lot of great leaders. But I think workers are continuing to look for a union these days. It seems to be well, in Canada, anyways, there seems to be more and more workers looking to join a union, and I think because of a lot of the work that our locals are doing, that we're doing as a union, people are more often than not joining CUPE, and it's of course that's very satisfying. But also, we're continuing to grow within our current locals as well, where new groups of employees come in, and of course it depends province by province how you bring those folks in. Could be through the labor board, could be through bargaining, could be just automatic. There's a lot of different ways that that happens, but yeah, we're continuing to grow. And it was just a few years ago when we were fighting COVID and our numbers dropped down. I think we had about 80,000 people on layoff and furlough and not working, and of course temporary is not working. So we were down even lower than, I think it was about 630 or 640,000 for a while. So of course all those folks are back, plus, and with this recent convention, I'm very proud to let folks know that we're at 800,000. It's we're on the way to 1 million. I don't know if it'll happen in my lifetime or my term, but I think we're definitely headed in the right direction.
Yeah, and 800,000, like you said, I remember being on there when we had the announcement of like 700, 750, and you're thinking, oh my God, like this is huge. Unfortunately, I didn't get the opportunity to join in person. As you know, at the Federation, we took a hit through fraud and everything else. So trying to be a little fiscally responsible right now. But I just want to say thank you for having it online so that we could partake that way. So we were able to, enjoy and celebrate the 800,000 members along with you, but in virtual setting. And
did you like our pyro?
That was amazing. I thought that was awesome.
I've been asking for pyro for years. I mean, you got to be careful, right? It's indoors and people have allergies and stuff. But I don't know who came up with it, but they found that big smoke things, and it was pretty cool. So I definitely enjoyed that. And of course, the streaming. We weren't sure. We've done it different ways, like we streamed speeches and things before, but I think we definitely made the right decision to stream the whole event so people could get a real idea of what was happening at convention, whether it was resolutions or amendments or guest speakers or whatever the case may be. So I think that was a great decision and not too costly. So it's something that I hope we'll continue to do in the future.
Yeah, I know one thing that's always hard when you're calling for the vote. You're reaching for your voting card when you're sitting at the house and you're going, shit, I don't have it. But it's but
you still raise your hand, eh?
Yeah, always. And but you're talking about the organizing part and reaching 800,000. I know over here in the Maritimes area, we have a great organizer, Stacey Delaney, who takes very good pride in all the work that she does. I know myself, previous to the role that I took organizer training. So knowing what goes into it, and all the multiple meetings and multiple conversations and everything that takes place, to be able to reach that 800,000 goal is huge. So hats off to all the organizers that CUPE employs, to be able to get that job done. And it just goes to show too, we keep hearing from some people saying that unions aren't relevant. When you're making gains like CUPE is like this, by going up to 800,000 members, it just shows the relevance that unions still play today.
Yeah, that's something we hear from the right wing for sure. And, organizing comes in different ways. Sometimes it comes from calls from workers that are looking for a home, and they may have seen us standing up to Air Canada or standing up to Higgs in your province. And most people that want to join a union want to join a fighting union. And that's what we're all about. And sometimes it's a long-term game too, eh? Like, sometimes it can happen really quickly. But in situations like the Porter Airlines, which we just organized, 1,200 new flight attendants, cabin crew came in and joined us about a month and a half ago, or even WestJet before them. It was a few years ago now. It was the third or fourth attempt in those situations, and you build on the relationships that you developed over those years, and you learn from your losses, and you pick yourself up, and when it's time, you go back in and start signing cards again. So sometimes it's a quick a few weeks and you got the organizing done, but sometimes it takes years, and you have to have the patience and be ready to approach it either way.
One of the things too is the re-election or the re-elected Candace Rennick as Secretary Treasurer, somebody who you work hand in hand with, also have a great connection. The work that you both do is incredible, and I think I'd be remiss if I didn't bring her up here in this conversation. How happy are you to see her back in her role as well for a couple more years?
Oh, Candace is great, and actually, she nominated me, so I was very happy to have her nominate me. A huge leader in our union from another province originally, and she's been there, I guess, 4 years. So she's going through into her third term, and she's done a fantastic job. Charles before her was great as well, and again, another close friend. When you spend as much time with the treasurer and the president, flying across the country, attending staff meetings or conventions or going to picket lines or whatever the case may be. It's super important that you get along and you like each other, and I can definitely tell you that that's the case with Candace as it was with Charles. She's very different than Charles. Both great stewards of our money, and both great at the administrative parts of the work, but both of them are amazing leaders. And Candace, one thing you never say to Candace is it's always been done this way, because that's just like an extra challenge to Candace, and she has changed a lot of things, which is great. It's about renewal in our union. I mean, always keeping the fiscal models in place and making sure the checks and balances are in place. But when it comes to things like the budget or just doing things differently, she brings a new approach to that, and I really do appreciate it. And she's a great person to travel with too, and great support from her family, and it makes doing my job a lot easier having somebody like Candace as our national secretary treasurer.
Right. So you've heard us talk about some of the most notable things, obviously the membership increase being one of them. But what are some of the highlights coming out of convention for yourself? What are some big takeaways that you're going to be taking away from the 2025 National Convention?
Well, there was a lot of resolutions, and we got to many of them. We never get to them all, and I know that's one criticism of some folks, is that we don't do enough resolutions or constitutional amendments, and I get it. But we're together for like a week, and there's a lot of things going on. You have the transparency pieces, my report, Candace's report. You've got some guest speakers, and we try not to have too many guest speakers, but we want to have some folks that can help motivate folks and bring different ideas to our union. But we passed a lot of resolutions. A couple of the ones that I'm really interested in and I'll be leading are around the governance task force. Governance task force has been created. We had one a few years ago, or maybe 6 or 7 years ago, and it led to some real changes in our union generally, but especially how we elect folks. Before, when Brian was the regional vice president, the floor would elect Brian as such. And that meant that other provinces could have a say in who the New Brunswick representative was on the national board. So one of the things we changed was, when it comes to those types of elections, regional and general vice president, they're elected in caucuses. So the regional vice president for New Brunswick, Iris, was elected in a caucus just of New Brunswick members. So those are some of the types of things that we'll be looking at. We've done that work, but there's lots of other works to do to make sure we stay a relevant organization. The other task force that there's two more task forces, I guess. So the other one I'll just mention is around the trial procedure, and that's something that can be very difficult for locals when internal charges are pressed by one member against another member, and there's a whole process involved there. We dramatically changed it 6 years ago, and we've made some tweaks to it, but it's time to have a good look and see if we need to overhaul it, in what way, and make the process easier, simpler, and make sure that we're also keeping that notion of fair play in place as well. So those are a couple of them. The big thing for me too is strategic directions. And strategic directions is like our action plan, and it guides our work basically for the next 2 years. And what we do is we do a draft strategic directions program by the National Executive Board. And then we put it out on the floor of convention. And there's spots in 2 days, on the Tuesday and the Wednesday, for delegates to go to microphones. We turn off the pro and con, and delegates are able just to talk about what they like in the draft, what they don't like in the draft, and what they'd like to see in the draft. And we have a committee of NEB members take that in. Staff are working closely with them. And if you don't get to a mic, if you're not comfortable getting to a mic, or we don't get to all of the speakers on the mics, there's the ability to make your submissions by email or to drop it off at the office. And then on Friday morning, we bring forward the revised action plan for all of our delegates to see, debate, and then vote on. And that really does direct our work, whether it's around how we bargain, whether it's around political action, whether it's around health and safety, international solidarity. It guides our work for the next 2 years. And as a board, we get updates at every national executive board meeting on the things that we've completed, the things that we're working on, and the things that we need to put more attention to. So it's one of the most important documents coming out of convention for sure.
All I'm saying is you sound busy. Just a little bit busy.
I had a day off yesterday, man. I had a day off. I got to hang out with my kids and
Oh, that's so good.
my partner, and that was nice. Yeah, so it can be a crazy life. I'm in planes a lot. Probably I don't know what it is, 150 times a year. I think I'm on a plane. I don't get to spend a lot of time in my apartment here in Coquitlam, British Columbia. But I'm doing, the work that I love doing, working with awesome folks like our NEB members, like leaders, like our staff, other progressive folks in the labor movement and outside of the labor movement too. So it's not really a job; it's a lifestyle, it's a life, and there's nothing I'd rather be doing. If there was, I wouldn't have reoffered last week, right? So it's the best gig in the world. Get to work with the best people in the world, so I love it.
So I don't want to keep you too much longer, but I do want to ask if you could give one piece of advice to the delegates, to the members all across Canada, part of CUPE, what would that piece of advice be?
Don't be afraid to make mistakes, and I say this, and Candace and I interview and we promote or hire people into basically the assistant director level and up. Our reps and support staff and all those other positions are hired through our directors, either in Ottawa or across the country, and of course, human resources supports both of those levels. And one of the things I'm asked quite often by folks that want to be directors is like exactly that. What's one piece of advice, or do you have anything for me as a potential director? And I always say, don't be afraid to make mistakes. But learn from those mistakes and move forward, knowing what those mistakes were. If we're going to be, and I hate using this word because it means a lot of things in a lot of ways, if we're going to be conservative, or if we're going to be really careful, or we're not going to be willing to take chances, we're missing out on a whole bunch of opportunities. And I think that's true whether you're an activist, a local leader, a staff person, or the national president. Like, don't be stupid, of course, but take chances and learn from those mistakes that you're going to make, because God knows I make enough of them.
Now, Nick said he didn't want to keep it too long, but you just said something that made me think of one more question, and that's not, is not being afraid to take a chance. And when I think about that, I think of the late Tommy Douglas and the NDP. I know the NDP put forth a motion to abolish Section 107 of the Canada Labour Code, and CUPE's come out backing that. Can you talk a little bit about that and just what it means to back such a strong piece of legislation?
Yeah, well, we've seen it now a couple times, And 107 and Labor Code's been around since, I think it was 2004. It was kind of used once, but not really in the 2000s. And then all of a sudden last year, there was a real rash of them by this Liberal government. And it was a previous Labor minister, McKinnon, that used it against us at the ports, used it against Teamsters and rail workers, used it against Longshore as well out in BC, used it against postal workers. And I'm probably missing one or two. And it's a horrible tool. and employers are just waiting for the government to use that. And we saw that with our flight attendants most recently, when it was most recently used. And the CEO of Air Canada didn't even hide hide the fact that they were counting on the government to use 107 to take away our fundamental right to strike. He said it on BNN. I was in the hotel and walking for a smoke, and it was on one of the TVs. They were broadcasting him, and the question was something along the lines was, why hadn't you been more prepared for a strike? And this is like right in the middle of it, eh? And his answer was, well, we thought the government was going to use 107. So it's such a lopsided tool. We have the fundamental right to withdraw our labor. That's enshrined. We've been to the Supreme Court on multiple occasions, as have other unions. We have that fundamental right. And when a government can, without even taking this to Parliament, like that's the other piece here, right? Is that the labor minister and the prime minister, two individuals, highly ranked in the government, of course, but two individuals think that they can take away our right to strike. And our amazing flight attendants at Air Canada were so damn brave, man. It was incredible. And when we decided to tell the government what we thought about 107, and I'm trying not to swear here, but when we told them what we thought, when we showed them, didn't just tell them, we showed them. And those amazing flight attendants said, we ain't going back to work until we get a contract. And so it's so lopsided, right? Labor relations is kind of like a pendulum. It goes back and forth. You're seeing that over in PEI right now with the struggle our members are having in 8:30, and we got to figure that out soon. But to take away our fundamental right to strike it has to be a non-starter. And I've said since that dispute that if the government tries to use a 107 against any of our local unions or any of our bargaining committees, we're going to tell them what they can do with it. And it's exactly what we told them last time. And we're good at getting deals. Hey, that's the thing. Got over 2,100 locals, over 4,000 collective agreements across this country. We get contracts every damn day of the week, and good contracts, and employers can live with them. Very rarely do we take a strike vote, and even more rarely do we actually have to take strike action. We're good at getting contracts. Stay the hell out of our way, government, and we'll get contracts with people. And if we got to shut something down for a couple days or a couple weeks or a couple months, well, nobody wants to do that. None of these workers want to be on the picket line. Just ask our members in Charlottetown or anywhere else. But fundamentally, we need to have that right in order to have a fair bargaining process. And when the government tries to take that away, we ain't taking it anymore. And I'm glad to see our friends in the NDP, Leah and others, and Don Davies, the acting leader, are taking this seriously and bringing forward legislation. And, I call on all the parties, the Bloc, the Conservatives, the Liberals, the Greens, whoever hell else is there, to stand up for the fundamental rights of workers across this country and send 107 packing.
Mark, you were reelected because you are strong-willed, you believe in your members, you believe in CUPE, you are a fine leader, and we are very, very appreciative of the fact that you would take the time to come on here tonight and talk to us and talk to the members all across Canada.
My pleasure, guys. It's been a slice, and love to do it again. And as Nick knows, I'm not very good at technology, and I can only see half of my head, but I know I'm here and I can see you guys. But I'd love to do this again, and one day you're going to have to show me how to do those little pieces that you wanted me to do. Because
I got you. I got you. Don't worry.
Right on, man.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank
We'll see
you.
you next week.
Thank you, Mark.
All right. Thanks so much, guys. You take care, eh?
You have a lifelong
And
friend,
go.
Mark.
Right on. And go, Jays, go.
Right on.
Absolutely. And the Leafs as well. I might as well have that in there too.
No.
Hey,
No,
hey,
sorry.
hey.
I thought Mark was gone. Sorry about that.
See you guys.
See you later.
brother.
Okay, so why don't we take a quick break, Brian? When we come back, we're gonna air the very wonderful sit-down interview I did last night with 1253's first VP, Justin Spooner, and talk all things CUPE Convention 2025.
My name is Blaine Parkman, and I've been with the city. I'm in my 39th year. There's a wide range of things that we do. The type of work we do a lot of things, sprinkler systems, fire protection, hydrants. What the people would miss right now with us gone, these cabs are coming in, they're not certified. That deeply concerned us because we saw a lot of issues and the utility scrambling to get people to come in to take over that work, but it's not the same quality of work because our members are engaged with the public, they're dedicated, they take pride in their work, and we want to provide a good public service.
Local 830 is on strike for fairness and respect. For the entirety of the bargaining unit, all 30 members of this bargaining unit is less than $105,000. The city is also attacking things that have existed in their collective agreement for 60 years. So these workers are fighting for appropriate wages, and they are fighting to just keep the things that they already have.
You know what? I'll be honest with you. The members, I'll start with the members. I have 27 of the best members in the world as far as I'm concerned. As far as the support you get from CUPE, I can't even, I'll be honest with you, when I get into this process, I couldn't even imagine that it was going to be what it was. I mean, from their staff that's here day in and day night, like, I can't say it enough. I can't believe how much support there is. And that's not even from coast to coast to coast, the support that we're getting from all CUPE members. And not just CUPE, all locals, period. So, I mean, it's powerful stuff, I'll be honest with you. And I'm going to be honest, our members are going to be here till the end.
To the city of Charlottetown, you picked the fight with the Canadian Union of Public Employees. And that means all 750,000 members from coast to coast to coast. We will not let these members starve. We will support these members till the collective agreement is found at the bargaining table. We will put every resource that's needed. We'll see you in the courts. We'll see you in the labor board. We'll see you on the streets. And we will keep fighting until we get a collective agreement that works for our members. Solidarity, my friends.
How about that? How great was that to get a perspective from the national president on everything 2025 CUPE convention?
Yeah, absolutely. That was awesome. I mean, you know, to have him on here, to be able to speak to him on that one-on-one basis, you know, and get some information firsthand, huge.
Yeah, it was great. Wes, what did you think, brother? He'll join us.
He's thinking. Oh, there he is.
There he is.
Video was choppy.
It's okay. What did
Didn't
you
quite
think of the interview?
hear you. What'd you say?
Try it.
We're just wondering what you
was
thought
great.
of the interview. We know you live a little bit further away than us, so your internet's been great.
I'm going to have to apologize. The internet out here for some reason the last few days hasn't been great. So the interview, it was great. Brother Hancock, he is very well spoken, and I was kind of upset that at a convention there last week, a lot of stuff going on in our local here, so I get to show support for our local.
Absolutely. And you know, I just want to say I just got a quick text from Brother Hancock, just letting us know he absolutely loved doing this and he'd love to come back if the opportunity's there. So, Brian, what did you think of the interview with Brother Hancock?
Mark's outstanding. He is, like you said, you can't say enough about the guy. He's so well spoken. He's so full of knowledge. This union is in his heart, and I know that feeling very well. I still live it day to day, even though I've been retired here now for 4 years. I think it's 4 years since I retired. So I know the passion that's in his heart. And like I said before, I can't think of anybody else better to lead this union. 800,000 strong, the largest in Canada, is just outstanding. And to be a part of all that in the past, and still the passion burns right now. And I watched CUPE National Convention all week long, and it just I watched the closing, and every closing that I've ever been to in convention has always been emotional, and this turned out to be just as emotional. I mean, I sat in my shop here and shed a tear and had a smile, and just it's something I'll never lead me.
Yeah, I know you're talking about Mark being a great leader, and I know Mark finished off there talking about 107. And one thing I can really say about that is, you know, watching him when he was talking about Air Canada, when the government used Section 107 against them, and he ripped up that CERB order, and he said, nope, that gave me chills. You know, as an activist and a leader, even, you know, that gave me chills to watch that man do that. And I think that was a defining moment when that happened, that unions and workers are saying, you know, that government interference and collective bargaining is dead. And that's why it's nice to see the NDP put forth legislation to repeal Section 107 and say, get it the hell out of there, because, you know, we're not going to be standing up for it anymore. And government interference is done. You heard him say that, you know, they were hoping, they were planning on government interference to end that dispute. So that right there shows me that it's being reviewed and it has no right in the Canada Labor Code, and it should be out of there. So, you know, hats off to them for doing that, and hats off to CUPE for supporting that. So now that we're back from our break again, 8:30, you know, go out and support those workers because we need to get that finished. But you had done an interview with Justin Spooner last night. So maybe if we could get that aired for our viewers now, we'll go ahead and have a listen.
Hey guys, I am Nick, joined alongside the first vice president of CUPE 1253. And I'm going to tell you, this is exciting for me. Huge fan of Justin Spooner. Think what he's doing is great. Just landed, getting back here to town after a week long of activities at the convention for CUPE. And of course, we got to talk about it because, man, it was go, go, go from the 6th to the 10th. You are a busy man. I appreciate you finding time to do this, especially you just got in and had Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah, it's been a busy ride this whole week. It was great. Yeah. I flew back into Ontario there for the convention from the 6th to the 10th, like you said. And it was good. But yeah, I just got in. My flight landed at 4. I was met at the airport with my kids and my wife. I came back and they had Thanksgiving dinner for me ready to go. So I just finished it. Yeah, man, it was good. It was a great feeling to come back to. So
that's great. And you know, I can imagine your mind has got to be like mush right now, trying to take in everything you took in Toronto at the convention. And we're just going to break right down into it. I mean, we're not going to be able to cover every day. We know that. But, you know, what was the overwhelming feeling arriving, getting set up, arriving at the convention itself? You know, take me back a week ago. What's the general consensus upon arrival?
I think it was great. I think it was a feel good energy in the building. Right when you came in, there were smiles. They had a percussion band following people around, just saxophones and trumpets, and you're going up the escalator, going down it. These guys were on it, so it was good. It was loud. It woke you up Monday morning to get in there for registration. The registration line was a long line, but you know, we got registered. We didn't miss anything good or important. Sorry, and we got in there on the 6th. It was a great feeling overall. It was a refreshing energy. Let's just say that. It was a very refreshing energy.
Well, I think the one thing I definitely want to talk to you about is being such a proud CUPE man. How about the lucky number 800,000 people now on board with CUPE? I mean, how about that, Justin? What's going through your head when you see that number come up on the screen?
That's incredible, man. Like, I know at CUPE Quebec, we weren't there. I think we were at like 750,000. We were climbing. Mark Hancock and Candace Reddick have been trying to get our memberships. The reps have been working really well. The members themselves have been working really hard to get the public out there and get the public knowledge and the support to continue to support the public services that CUPE gives to them. Because at the end of the day, that's exactly what it is. It's taxpayer funded. We're ready to go. We're public service for the public. We're not private sector. We do the jobs for the public. We are the public as well. So it's 800,000 is huge, man. Like it is in Canadian context. That's big. Like, we're the largest public sector, and it's great that we just introduced Porter Airlines as well. I saw that they signed on recently within the last year to get, like, I believe 1,500 members involved with CUPE as well. So, CUPE's constantly growing, and we're constantly, supporting our allies out there as well.
We're very good because we evolve. You know what I mean?
Right.
We change with the times. When something happens, we adapt it as our own, and we make it something. I'll revert back to 2 weeks ago for Truth and Reconciliation Day. We tried to make it as wonderful and special as we could here on CUPE Talk in the Maritimes, but also CUPE has made it such a beautiful thing across the entire country. And I think that speaks volumes. Would you not agree with that?
100%. I think it's huge. And it's stuff like that as well. It's not just a day off. It is a Truth and Reconciliation Day to go out there, and just to get out there and make amends and just let people know that, this is not a holiday to be celebrating. It's a holiday to be remembering and reconciliation with everyone. It's all about solidarity at the end of the day. We all need to be unified, and the solidarity has to be there at the end of the day. And this is the whole union aspect versus, your everyday life. At the end of the day, it's all one big, gigantic negotiation, and we all got to work together to get it.
How important is it for members across Canada who some of them like to think, well, we don't need to go to these things. We don't need this. But how important is it, Justin, that they realize that these conventions of any sort, but the big CUPE National Convention, like, it's so important that you're there. It's a life lesson, if I may. It really is a life lesson. But, like, how would you describe it to the members that are on the fence about it? Like, as in, like, you should be there. It's educational. It's a learning curve. But how would you say it to someone that isn't sure why they would go?
Yeah, that's an excellent point too. Like, everybody just thinks it's all policies and procedures when we get there, and it's not. The special guests that they have, I don't remember the gentleman's name, but he was a fantastic speaker. I was excited to see Stephen Lewis, the former ambassador for Canada to the UN, but unfortunately he came down with an illness. I would explain it as it's just more tools to your toolbox. When you get there, from networking, talking, communicating. Like, we sat as New Brunswick in the convention hall, so we had all of our other brothers and sister locals there. So you could get up and you could talk to everybody, you could see everybody. And that there's something for everybody, Nick. There is something for everybody at this convention. Whether, if you don't like the policies part, you're definitely going to love the speakers part, or you're going to love the entertainment given by Mark and Candace during the convention. The biggest thing too is I love the aspect of how passionate people get at the mic, period. Like, I might not understand what someone else is going through or how they perceive something that is an actual issue until they get up to the mic and speak. And then you're just like, okay, there you go. There's another, tool in the toolbox because it's a different aspect on the outlook of it. So it's really neat to be able to go there and fact find like it's fact finding. It's great.
Well, and the great thing is too, no one man has all the answers. No one man, no one woman. You've got to, if you take a little bit from everyone, I used to always say, if you surround yourself with smart people, you're a smart person. I used to really believe that because you learn and you adapt and you change and you pick up new things. As you said, there's new tools for your toolbox. And that's very important because in our line of work, and I mean the public sector, it changes as quickly as the lights change on the street. I mean, things just change and you got to be ready. As Sandy Harding, someone that you and I both know very well, likes to say, you got to pivot and you got to pivot quick.
That's right.
You really do. And, speaking of Mark and Candace, I think it's only right, reelected both of them into their rightful positions. President Mark Hancock, Secretary Treasurer Candace Rennick. How happy were you to see those two back in their roles?
Oh, I was ecstatic. There was rumblings going around for the year if Mark was retiring, running, Candace Rennick running again. I think they're both doing tremendous jobs. Mark is an inspirational leader. The way that guy can just speak off the top is fascinating. And Candace Rennick is just so strong at what she does. We truly are blessed to have Candace Rennick and Mark Hancock as our leaders.
I truly agree 100%. I probably talk to Mark once a week. As you know, he was going to be a regular on the show, only to realize, hey, Mark, you don't stop. So where do you think you can get in here? He's on the show tomorrow night. So Tuesday night, he'll be on the show. The cat's out of the bag there. This is Monday. But tomorrow night, he's on the show. So he'll be seeing all these. But and then Candace is away, and she said, I'm so sorry. She says, I promise I'm going to take my son on vacation. I'm thinking, you don't owe me a sorry. Like you just spent a week and a quarter, like just making sure that every single table had a pen. Like you wanted everything to be pristine. You don't owe me a sorry. But God love her. She's been on this show in the past. And you have too, and that's why I always say, like, anytime people can hear you people speak, it's important because you may say something that someone else might go, that's the answer I was looking for right there. He just said it. That's important. Tell me about what you manage. I know the evenings, things wind down. Kim told me there were some great socials, a lot of fun. She told me, I want to say she made it to a Maple Leafs game, and she was a Canadiens fan, so I didn't really want to talk to her. But that's more here or there. But did you get out? Did you see any sports? Come on, Toronto. Listen, you were in the heart of Toronto while the Blue Jays are rocking and rolling, and the Maple Leafs are just kicking off a season. The Raptors are kicking off a season. I sure hope you found a little bit of you time.
Yeah, it was. I'm not a baseball fan. God love Blue Jays, but I grew up in Toronto, could care less. I went downtown. My father took me downtown 92, 93 when they won. I didn't care as much then. I don't care now. I think good for them though. Yay. As for the Leafs in Montreal, I'm like you. I don't want to talk about either one of them. I am a Buffalo Sabres fan. So I currently do not like hockey right now. I have not liked hockey for the past 15 years. But I did get out to see my boys, the Raptors. I am a big Toronto Raptors fan. I have been for, since 2004 there, 2003. I know Vince Carter and McGrady and all them were there, but now I started following them back in the early 2000s there. Haven't looked back, but they were playing my boys, the Boston Celtics, and I'm a big Boston Celtics fan too, so... it was good. They came back. Yeah.
How was the flight home? How was getting home?
Flight home was fantastic, man. It was long overdue. I stayed and visited some family. Being from Toronto, I could have flown out the Friday, but I figured I'd just fly out the Monday, get some family time in. The flight was great. And I didn't stay downtown, so I commuted like a like an Ontarian. I came in on a GO train, 45 minutes every morning.
Oh, you never stayed downtown?
No,
Oh, I
sir.
didn't know that.
Yeah, no, I stayed with a friend there, and I commuted 45 minutes in every day on the train. Walked.
So
It was
you
great.
lived the fast life while you were there one more time.
That's it. I just went right back to what I did 8 years ago. Right on the GO train, and away we went.
Brother, I am so glad that you took time to come on here and talk. You know, I really appreciate you, Justin. I think you're an awesome person, and you know, you are my first VP for 1253. I look up to you. I look up to the president, Will Thibodeau. You know, I think a lot of you guys, and I just want to thank you because I know, like you said, you've been go, go, go. You've got a little family time. You flew in today. You had Thanksgiving. You're taking time to sit down with me when you could be having family time. So I really appreciate you a lot, and I hope you'll come on and do this again with me.
Yeah, anytime, Nick. You know, I'm a big fan. I was a big fan since day one there, and you guys brought me on your show, I believe, at CUPE Convention there. And you know, anytime. Yeah, I have two families. I always say I have my family, and then I have my CUPE family. So you can always make time.
I appreciate you. Thank you, my brother.
No problem, brother. You take care. Okay.
You too. What a great interview. I have to thank Justin for, like I said right there, that was no joke. Gone all week, flew in, surprise family Thanksgiving, got home, ate, ran downstairs, jumped on the computer, did that show. He's all about the labor movement, make no mistake.
Yeah, no, I've had the pleasure, you know, to work with Justin on 1253 executive team, and you know, I can say that he goes above and beyond for his members, not only for 1253, but for his own local as well. And you know, always a pleasure to have him here on the show, and great interview. Sad to hear that he's like, what is Beavers coming?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get that.
He must have had a popsicle stick in kindergarten, something like that.
Probably.
Something like that, but. No, great interview. It's nice to always hear everybody's takeaways, you know, from the convention, because, you know, what I would take away from the convention, what you would take away from the convention, you know, it's, you know, you'll get there. But hearing what Justin took away from the convention, you know, it's great. And,
Yeah,
you know, and taking the time out, like you say, you know, maybe here in March, you know, the amount of travel and everything you do, and, you know, to make time for, you know, the members, and, you know, to make time here for us and keep talking to Maritimes. You know, thanks, Justin. We appreciate that.
Yes, we sure do. Now, I want to touch on CUPW. We do see now that they are doing rotating.
Yes.
Which is, you know, they're hoping for a better outcome. I had a chance to kind of talk to Steve Ling, the president of CUPE
Fundy 105.
Yeah, CUPW Fundy 105. My bad. And we discussed a few different things today about it. He told me that they are excited about this. They have a good feeling. And, you know, basically, they are. So I'm going to read this to you. There's 2 post offices are out today. They are Anthony's in Newfoundland and Dawson's Creek in BC. And then they're hoping the new action will help get customers' items moving. It's amazing to me that all this is going down. And CUPW, they want to make sure that the customers are getting their things, which to me shows respect, and it shows caring, and it shows that they appreciate the residents of all of Canada. And my concern is that Canada Post doesn't.
Well, and one of the things that we're hearing people saying, oh, thank God they're going back to work, you know, and this and that. But then we hear people saying, oh, you know, end door-to-door delivery. Well, how can you be happy that they're going back to work but be excited to end door-to-door delivery?
Right.
Right? That's just, that doesn't make any sense to me. So, you know, when the government made the announcement to end door-to-door delivery, absolutely ludicrous.
Yeah.
You know, I guess we could say thank you, I guess, to Canada Post, for going to a rotating strike, but just showing the relevance that they still have while trying to keep up the pressure. We're trying to maintain the strike because, we know going on strike when you choose to disrupt services, that's that's one of the last tools in your toolbox.
Yes,
at the end
it
of the day, is when you withdraw those services. And I mean, being hit with injunctions and not to picket purolators and everything that's being handed down to them. I mean, these poor workers are just being hit hard. And, it's up to us and the labor movement to stand up and support these workers and, hopefully push for them to get a fair contract from Canada Post. And again, keep government interference out. And, let's just show how relevant door-to-door delivery services are. Let's keep job protection, and let's keep everything relevant to Canada Post. Let's push for new initiatives, to expand the postal services. Like you've heard us say here in CUPE Talk, that they've approached the Canada Post Corporation on expanding those services, but they don't want to hear it. And I'll come right out and say it. I think it's because the CEO of Canada Post, Doug Ettinger, I think it's because he owns 91% of Purolator, and he wants to ship a lot of it over there.
The guys,
to me, it's a complete conflict of interest.
Yeah.
And the two of them should be separated. I can't speak for Canada Post, but I think it's time to, like I said back in the day, it's time to eat speed, and it's time for we need to come up with a little slogan to Doug Ettinger, time to go.
I couldn't agree more. So CUPW is to meet with the minister lightbound this week. So we'll see where that goes from there. Hopefully we can get something figured out because CUPW, man, they are some very hard brothers and sisters over there. We know firsthand. I can't speak for everyone, but I like when my mail's right outside my door and I'm able to grab it.
Well, I mean, we keep hearing about, Mark brought up the pandemic, and it's ironic that everybody were heroes back in the pandemic, and they were heroes, back then, and then they're still heroes today. Somebody was telling me on the ticket line how, when they're going door to door and doing their things, they were actually able to prevent fires and everything else. And one of them went to the house and they noticed that.
Oh, yes, I did hear this.
They noticed, that something was out of sorts, and here the side of the house was on fire, and they were able to go in and successfully let everybody know in that home so that everybody get out safe. The same with, there was a woman one time that I noticed that normally she left a certain door open so that they could put the mail in a certain area, and that wasn't done that day. So the mail carrier called and got a wellness check done. We hear the poor woman had fallen and was injured and didn't get to do what the normal routine was. And the postal worker noticed that was out of sorts and was able to help that woman. So not only are they the mail carriers and the connection of communities across Canada, but they're also compassionate people and playing such a relevance in that human interaction and making sure that people are safe. They're heroes.
They are. And if memory serves me correct, I think Wes Wills and I were at St. John District Labor Council last week or the week before, and that fire incident came up. So, Wes, does that sound right? I'm pretty sure we were together.
Yeah, you're exactly right there, brother, with that. Definitely, this is the post office for years ago, I believe, is wellness checks on customers. And, that's something I back because really there are a lot of people who depend on the mail and people that just cannot get out to community mailboxes or the post office.
Right.
This affects them in a huge way. So, I mean, there's a lot of our population depend on that door-to-door service, and, the government's going to wake up, seriously, start negotiating.
Yeah, I agree.
And I'd just like to say that, in my opinion, Canada Post is a public service and should be treated as a public service.
Here.
Right? I mean, we all know Canada Post has been around since the 1800s here. I mean, it's one of the oldest businesses here that Canada's had. I can't speak for that. I'm just talking off the top of my head. But I mean, for something that's been around for so long, it's been relevant for so long. Yes, I know we have email and all these different things, but there's so much relevant today. They're just as relevant today.
They really are.
Were then.
Yep,
I mean,
yep.
really, people don't realize, the small businesses. When we talk about, our seniors and people with disabilities and everything, and we've seen that the union members coming up with initiatives on how to expand the postal services, and they're basically being shut down and being told no. Well, they're the boots on the ground. They know firsthand how things work. So maybe CEOs, they need to start listening to the workers. Same with government. You need to start listening to the workers, because even though you have VPs and people employed that are non-union or whatever, it's the workers and the boots on the ground that know the day-to-day stuff a lot more sometimes than somebody sitting behind the desk and looking at it from the outside in. You need to talk to the workers.
Yep, I agree, 100%. So what we're going to do now is I do want to just quickly discuss a very important topic. Higgins Insurance. Why is it important? Because it's going to cover your home. It's going to cover your house. It's going to cover your toys. It's going to cover everything you need. And
you just listed 3 of the services that I have.
That's why I did it. I did it for you.
But no, Nick couldn't be any more right. Higgins Insurance, they're there for everyone. They're the friendly business, friendly service, top notch. Like I have my home and auto, and I also have my ATV also for them. So I didn't think of a better business than Higgins Insurance.
I absolutely love them.
849-506-849-7800.
All I'm saying is that's really good, brother. And we're in the middle of making a brand new commercial for Higgins. That's why you're not getting one. We're very excited about it. It'll be coming hopefully when we come back in 2 weeks. That's the game plan. Also, my favorite charred oak design. That piece of wood you gave me and took it away from me? Elbows Up Canada? That one.
Oh, you mean the one person that's online here?
Not naming any names, but he could be the producer.
Actually, you get a little view. Actually, people have been getting behind the scenes look at a little bit almost all night.
You know what? I didn't really think of that until you said it right now. Oh, look.
Oh, we got to go a little bit bigger.
Make yourself the big one now. Look at that.
It's backwards, but that's just one of the latest. I've been working on Halloween things here. Here's another one for you.
Here, make your screen a little bit bigger so the viewers can see.
I can do that. It's going to be backwards. So look at
That's
that.
okay. All right.
In case of emergency, backup wand. Old Salem Wand Company is 1892.
Who needs a commercial for charred oak when we were right in the office?
Yeah, exactly. But again, no, those are some of the things, you're thinking about Halloween. I know Christmas is coming up, so get those Christmas orders in. What better way to support the local business by ordering something for Christmas? And I mean, who doesn't like something that's homemade like that? And, so much effort and love put into it. It is
great. Name on it.
Yes, you the work you do is incredible, Brian. There's no question. I have a couple pieces of your work at home. Huge fan. I know, Chris, you've got pieces hanging around. It's great. I love it, and I would encourage anyone. If you're shopping local and you're looking for a nice piece of home art, something you have, maybe you'd like to have it done up on a laser or nicely put on a piece of wood, man. Charred Oak Designs is the place to go, and I mean that. And they're on Facebook, and you can contact them there. Chris, how else can they contact Charred Oak Designs?
Well,
didn't mean to put you on the spot there. Sorry.
Since I'm good with phone numbers.
Yeah.
506-343-0454.
That's good. You should know your phone number.
I should.
No.
CUPE Talk too, because I'm going to be making something for a giveaway again as well.
Well, there it is.
You heard it here first.
I guess so. Now, up next, we're going to air a. I'm going to call this was a really special. I was really happy to have CUPE New Brunswick Secretary Treasurer Kim Copp on the show, and Kim and I had a great conversation about her week in Toronto. And following that, we will come back and we'll wrap things up. So, Mr. Producer Man, if you would, could you roll that for us? What would we do without him? Okay, guys, I am Nick, joined alongside CUPE New Brunswick Secretary Treasurer Kim Copp. Kim, what an honor it is to have you here on the show today.
My pleasure, Nick. My pleasure.
You have been very busy. You were literally away for a week at what I'll call the granddaddy of them all, the CUPE National Convention in Toronto, Ontario. We're going to talk about it. But then you flew home. You're ready to roll. It's Thanksgiving. My goodness, you have just been go, go, go. How do you manage?
Oh, it's been so fun. I got home Friday night, late Friday night. I went hiking yesterday just because I was in need of some nature. And my granddaughter came and spent the night last night. She went home tonight after supper. And tomorrow morning I'm at the nursing home. And then I'm off to Fredericton for a nursing home AGM. So it's always a whirlwind, but it's a good balance. I mean, after a week in the city and so much jam-packed action, a day of downtime was much needed yesterday, but now I'm refreshed and ready to go again.
Well, let's take it right from the beginning. I mean, you flew into Toronto, beautiful city. If it wasn't already rocking from the Blue Jays to the Toronto Maple Leafs kickoff, I mean, my goodness, what a time to fly into Toronto, Ontario.
Oh yeah, it was incredibly the energy in that city from convention and from the sports going on there. It was incredible, to say the least. Yeah, I flew in. We travel. We travel is always great to work with. They help us with our accommodations, our flights. They take care of everything. We flew in. I got there at 7 a.m. on Sunday. We were able to check into our hotel at 8:30 in the morning, which was amazing. Wow. And then we went right over for, we had our sector meetings. So I usually join the healthcare meeting, but I sit on the National Childcare Working Group and we had an action planned for that day. So I sat in on the childcare sector meeting. Then we went outside and had an action for our childcare. We handed out flyers and the people were on the way to Blue Jays game. So there were literally thousands of people walking by. And we had lots of kids, probably 18 to 20 kids there with us for our action. So yeah, it was a phenomenal time for sure. And that was before convention even started. That was just Sunday. And then Monday we moved right into convention and they have it down to a fine tooth comb. I mean, they have their credentials committee there to get you organized. They've got the resolutions constitutions committee ready to get all the business in order. They do a great job. They have musical openings, which is really, really nice. It's very upbeat. Yeah. And they have, oh my goodness, the debate, the elections, committee reports. You know this, some of this from ours. There's resolutions, there's constitutional amendments. There were several awards, caucus meetings. Yeah, it's just an incredible experience. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was so excited watching it all. Not being able to be there, I really was hoping this would be my very first convention. Mm-hmm. But, you know, being able to follow it because of people like you that keep everyone up to date, like you're very much like, this is what we're doing, you know, pay attention, look at the pictures. Some people got videos. I mean, we're talking thousands of people. So
over 2,000 delegates alone, plus all the staff and all the behind the scene and tech guys like you. They have a fantastic tech team, fantastic organizers. Yeah, I hope you get to go. The next one is in Montreal in 2 years, and I hope to see your face there because it really is something to experience. There were a lot of first-time delegates there, And it was a lot of first time from New Brunswick even, and it was a good experience for them. And the videos and pictures I shared were just a fraction of what I took. There's just so much going on every day.
Oh, I love it. Tell me about, actually, let's segue. I want to talk a little bit about the app. Are you familiar with the 2025 convention app?
Yep,
Okay,
absolutely.
hats off to whoever made that. Hats off to how well and stable it was. Myself and Chris Watson were able to keep up with different things. But, you know, even though you weren't there, you had a little bit of a part of you that felt like you were, because you were able to connect so much. I just want to tip my cap to whoever created it, because it was top notch. And I hope they do that every year or every 2 years.
Yeah, I think they had it last time too. I didn't attend last time, but I think they had the app last time. The app is incredible because you can see what's going on during the day. If there's any events in the evening, you can see if there's any extra caucus meetings or anything any education things. They had some great education. They had like overdose response training every day at lunchtime and one morning. A lot of people attended that. They had a lot of extra things going on besides the regular business. So yeah, the app is incredibly helpful.
It is, isn't it? I really like it. I think that it really shows just how active CUPE is, because you can see everything, and not to mention they post when the rallies are. But if you're watching it live, you hear all the different brothers and sisters saying, "We're doing this at lunch. We're doing this at break." Like, you know, you really feel like you're part of the team.
Oh yes, our sister Sharon Tier stayed back at home last minute. She wasn't able to go, but she was able to follow along and keep in touch with us, which was really important for our team. So
I actually communicated with Sharon. I wanted her to know that I was thinking of her when I heard that she couldn't go. And she's actually going to be on the show. I actually got to get in contact with her, because she's on the next, she's the second person that's going to be on Where Did It All Start? The first one was Rennick, and the second one is with Sharon Tier. And it's just all about your activism. Where did it start? Where are you now? You know, basically, and all points in between.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I won't be a spoiler, but Candace's, Candace's and Sharon's Where Did It Start are both very much in line with my career. So that's fantastic choices.
Yeah, well, I'm very excited. You know, it was kind of like my own little pet project. We have the show, but we wanted to have different segments. And I just thought, what a great segment, because I think everyone needs to know that there is a beginning and there's an end. And it's important that you know not everyone's beginning is full of glamour and happiness. People struggle, and the struggle's real. You know, we don't just say that. It is hard. And you try to overcome it, and you succeed, and you move on to bigger and better things.
Absolutely. When we start, a lot of us start just because we want to help people and make working conditions better. And I know at my nursing home, some of the people that have sat alongside with me on my local executive, it was because they had struggles and needed their union to help them. And that's what got them involved. That's what gave them the push they needed to say, okay, I'm going to be part of this. You know, I had one girl that got fired, and she was off taking her LPN course and got fired for not being available, but we got her job back, and she was like, okay, then I am going to join this team. And we had her for about 10 years. She was amazing. So yeah,
I
like
love
you said,
that.
it's not always easy, but it's always purposeful for sure.
That's right. So you're there from the 6th to the 10th. Tell me, how packed is that? Like, I mean, you know, what time are you getting back to the hotel? Like, how hard is it to wind down after a day like that every day?
Well, I mean, meetings went till at least 6 every day. And then there were some evenings we would have a caucus meeting after that at 6 and again at 7. You know, there are diversity caucus meetings. There was New Brunswick caucus meeting. There's a Maritime Province caucus meeting. There are so many. And by the time you get back and you have a bite to eat, we were so lucky. My hotel was close enough to walk to convention, right across from Union Station, where I could go and have something to eat. and close to lots of establishments. So it was a really good location and easy to grab the train to get back to the airport. I couldn't have asked for a better location. So thank you to CUPE for that. But yeah, definitely full days, and you got to get up early and touch base with back home and answer some messages. I took a couple phone calls from my local, from the nursing home while I was there to help with issues that needed solved. And I think a lot of people did a lot of that. You see a lot of people getting up and leaving the room because things don't stop at home just because we're away. So you have
That's
to
right.
keep in touch at home, keep things going there, both professionally and personally. And jam-packed days. By 9 o'clock at night, you're ready for your PJs in bed for sure.
No doubt. Tell me, what was it like? Election day comes, you know that Mark Hancock was reoffering, Candace Rennick was reoffering, but what is the atmosphere like when you're waiting, like today's that day, but what is the atmosphere like? Is there, I don't want to say tension, but nervousness, like you're waiting, like, geez, I hope I get it.
Yeah, the energy. And I know Sherry Hillier said this to me. I congratulated her on her reelection as GVP, and she said, I never take an election for granted. Doesn't matter how long you've been around, what position you sit in, you still always, I think, are nervous before an election. But I mean, that team is dynamic, and Candace and Mark work really well together. I don't think any of us on the floor had a doubt that would be the team that would be leading us again in the next couple of years. But I'm sure they had their moments, but they're so well spoken and passionate about what they do.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
But the energy in the room, and for those that were seeing those kind of elections for the first time, I'm sure it was really amazing for them.
So for us, Kim, it's usually about, I'll say 5 to 10 minutes. You get your ballots count and come back in. What's it like waiting? How long is a wait with a room like that?
Well, it's funny. They had electronic voting devices, but they weren't really working properly. There were some glitches. So we ended up going to good old fashioned ballots, but they have an amazing team of staff and assistants that went out, and it really wasn't that long. I want to say maybe 15, 20 minutes at the most. Like, it wasn't that long. They were gone, and then the results were in. Yeah. And that's a nice moment when you hear those claps for those people that are going to have you in good hands for the next 2 years.
I'm big on that too. I really feel comfortable with Mark, and I feel very comfortable with Candace. I met Candace, actually, I think, if I remember correctly, that was when you and I first met, was on the elevator at Dollars and Cents.
That's right.
Me and my wife, and that's why I got to talk to you for the first time.
Yes, and I introduced you to Candace there. That's right. That's right.
You did, yes. Yeah, so I mean, we're all intertwined in our different ways, we really are, because everyone helps everyone and we elevate each other up. I spoke at my very first AGM, which was for 5446.
Nice.
Yeah, and I mean, I was nervous, but they hype you up and they excite you so much that when you get up there, you forget about everything and you're in your zone. It's an amazing thing, isn't it?
It really is. It really is. But when you're talking about something you're passionate about, it makes it a little easier. And you were saying about lifting people up. That's one of my favorite parts of convention is you gravitate to your fellow New Brunswickers. You know some people from other provinces too, but you gravitate to your fellow New Brunswickers. You make sure everybody gets back to their hotel okay. You make a plan to walk together in the morning. There are people in New Brunswick that I only see at national events, or maybe CUPE New Brunswick. Like, I only see them a couple times a year. So yeah, it's a great thing.
And I even heard Mark say on one of the videos I was watching about having the safe, like making sure you were safe at night and stuff. Safe arrival.
Absolutely. There's a safe walk program. There's safer union spaces are well in place. Oh yeah, it's and there's an ombudsperson in place if anyone does have an issue that they need help with. They have all of that laid out and very accessible for everybody, for sure.
Isn't it great?
Yeah.
Like I was so proud of everything and the way that it all went off, and that's the wrap, and everyone had like little comments about how much they enjoyed it. Did you get out? Did you get to do anything for yourself while you were there, or is it really just that jam packed that it's hard to do that?
It's super busy, but I mean, I had a couple of nice suppers out, and I'm a Montreal fan, so I did go to the hockey game, the Montreal Toronto game, where my team lost again. The second time I've seen them, the second time they've lost. And the other thing we did was a few of us went to what's called the Rec Room, which is like a huge big arcade. So 4 of us did go there and have a couple of hours of fun. We were actually walking another lady back to her hotel who was by herself, and that was just a pit stop that wasn't planned, but it was a couple hours of a really fun evening. So I was traveling by myself for my local 2610. And I flew from Moncton direct to Toronto, which was great. But when I got off in Toronto, there were several people I knew. So I had options. There were people here from 1418. Do you want to jump in a cab with us? Or people here from St. Stephen, from the hospital sector. Do you want to jump on the train with us? So it was really, I don't like to travel by myself, but I do when I need to get where I'm going. But I didn't need to be worried because there was always someone there.
I hate traveling by myself. I hate it. I've been very fortunate like you. It just seems like every time I go somewhere, I guess that's the great thing though about CUPE, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
We all meet and we remember each other. So even when we see each other, if we don't remember a name, that's okay, because we just pick right up where you left off.
Absolutely.
That's kind of the beauty of it. Like I'm going to be in CUPE. I'm going to be in Nova Scotia at the end of the month for CUPE Talk.
Oh, good.
I'll like to work with Alan and his team. And, at first I get nervous, but then I'm like, man, it's like riding a bike. It's not that big a deal. You just go, you set up, you rock and roll.
Absolutely.
We're very fortunate. We really are. I'm really glad you came on. You are so important to me, and I really look up to you, and I love the way you are such a leader, and everything you do is for the betterment of CUPE New Brunswick. I'm very thankful, very happy that you took the time to come on today.
Absolutely. It was my pleasure. I can't wait to hear your show. You've got some great speakers lined up.
Yes, we sure do. Thank you so much, Kim.
You're welcome. You have a good evening and have a good Thanksgiving. I'm at the nursing home tomorrow, which I haven't been in a while because I've been doing a lot of union business. So tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. on deck to see my residents. So I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Take care.
What a great interview. Again, 3 for 3.
It was a good interview. You know what? She brought up a good point. When saying about when you're there at convention and you get to see people, that's all part of it, right? Because at the end of the day, like, we get in our own sectors and we get our own jobs and stuff. But when you get to see other activists that you don't normally get to see on a day-to-day basis, that's exciting.
Yes, it is.
Right, and I mean, especially when you're watching like the CUPE National, because there's people. You might run into them here and there when you're around New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, things like that. But when you're talking on the national level, you get people that are just from all across Canada. And the only time you really get to see them are at national conventions and sector conferences and other events that CUPE National puts on. So, that's all part of it, right? And that's what really rejuvenates the soul and makes it so that you can keep that fight going. When we have our victories, that keeps us going. But knowing that you're going to see these other activists, that's what also keeps us going as well, because we do develop lifelong friendships with these people.
Absolutely, we do. Now, I do want to just say very quickly, I have 2 things I want to say. Number one, I want to let everyone know that Wes and I will be traveling to New Glasgow and Nova Scotia for a couple days next week for CUPE Talk in the Maritimes. We'll be covering a number of different topics with different leaders within CUPE over there. We're very excited about that. Wes is going to do all the driving because he's a really good person, Wes, and I really appreciate you. See?
That's not what I expected. No, I would expect nothing less than a thumbs up from Brother Wills.
Did you get there safely? How's that?
If he can get the kids to school safely as a qualified professional school bus driver, I have no doubt in my mind that you'll make it to Nova Scotia back safely.
Right.
There and back, I should say. Not just back.
Yeah, no, I want to make it there and back.
Yeah.
And of course, I have to thank both of you for being a part of tonight's show. It was a very exciting show, and we can't do this show without both of you because we all have a role, as well as Michaela Gallant, our PEI CUPE Talking to Maritimes host, and of course she is extremely busy tonight with CUPE 830 and rallies today, so I know she was jam-packed today. So
also, she was active. I saw very active at CUPE National Convention too.
Yes,
I saw
was.
pictures of her being up, speaking at the microphone. So kudos to her for her active participation at the CUPE National Conference, AGM, I should say.
Yeah, and since you brought up the CUPE National one more time, we're gonna have producer Brian Watson play a special CUPE Talking to Maritimes tribute little package we put together, and then he will roll the credits. So I know from me and from Chris and Wes and Brian, we thank you all for listening. And remember, we are back here in 2 weeks. But Wes and I will be all over the place next week as well on social media.
Night, everybody.
Good night.